Okay, so I have here some pieces from Walkera Uflys, and I'm fairly new to quite new to the hobby. In fact, this is my first helicopter. Realized sort of after buying it that maybe it's a little advanced for a new person to this hobby. However, I've got it now, and I really like it. So, having a little bit of trouble that most people have with these little gears. I can't really get a focus on it there. This is a stripped out one. You can kind of see it's flared out at the end there. So, I knew that that was going to happen, and just bought a bunch of spares and thought, oh well, no big deal, I'll just deal with it. But then, right after my first replacement of it, I think maybe just a few seconds after flying it, it started stripping out again, and I realized that on the main gear here, the gear that drives that small gear, the teeth were beginning to round out, and it stripped out a second one right away. Not nearly as badly, but it wouldn't hold the tail at all. So got tired of it. I'm not really interested in continuing with this game. So I'm attempting here a belt drive conversion. So I saw something online. Somebody, I think in Denmark or something, did it. And so I'm going to be explaining how I'm doing this. I haven't actually started yet, but we'll be working on it here. So here I got a belt from Honeybee King 3. Goes through the other side. And underneath the belt right here, I have a 10-tooth pinion gear with a 2mm inside diameter. Fits on the shaft just right. So my plan here, first I'll pull this tight. You can see it really functions quite smoothly if I just pull on this end here. So my plan here is to let me see, am I zoomed out all the way? Yeah. Is to use some Loctite and a model paintbrush. I may have to get a new one. This one's got some caked on paint on it, but we'll see. Might be able to clean it up. My plan is to paint some of the Loctite right in here against this gear, so that all the way around, so that it's Loctited to the gear here that's connected to that drives the pin that goes through the shaft here. On the other side, what I did is I used the same gear here, a replacement on the other side, and replaced this bearing here with the bearing with a 3mm inside diameter that normally goes here, because I had a second set of bearings. And so this pinion gear really fits in here just perfectly. I just have to get it to secure to here. If the Loctite doesn't work, I may have to use the JB Quick epoxy, but I don't want to do that if I don't have to, because if the belt ever breaks, I would never be able to get this out and replace the belt. So that's my plan with that. So the parts that I've chosen to use, I've got a belt pulley here, again from a Honeybee King 3, and the pulley wheels from a Honeybee King 3. Now these, normally these pulley wheels sit right on the plastic here, but what I've done is I've taken the orange tubing that usually is right in here, the orange tubing that usually is right in here, and cut it in half and used a longer hex bolt so that I can extend the length of this and also make it adjustable, so I can adjust the length of this. So that's important because I need to attach it to the body, the main frame here. I've sort of determined underneath here, you can kind of see, I'll use the paintbrush again. Let's see, right here you can see two little, I don't know, you actually can't see them in that picture. That way, let me see, that's better. There's two little dots right there, right there. Yeah, there you go, now you can see them, right there. And that pretty much marks the perfect place for these pulleys to be lined up with. So that would make them right about there. So I've got one of two plans. My first plan is to use a Dremel tool and drill a very fine hole right here into this servo holder, and then use, I've got a 10 millimeter, I think these are Thunder Tiger brand bolts, you know, self-threading 2 millimeter by 10 millimeter with a washer head bolts to hold that on there. And then I'll probably use an additional one against the side of it to keep it from moving left or right. Alternately, if that doesn't work, I have a 27 millimeter by 3 millimeter bolt that could go all the way through the main body here. My concern, though, is if I do that, that it may weaken the main body, and I don't want to do that unless I have to. So my first choice is to use these threaded into the servo holder piece. So how am I going to attach the pulley to the main gear here? So if you take this, take this off, I'm probably going to get rid of this piece, not use it at all. And here's the pulley piece. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out the center of the pulley piece. I think a quarter inch drill bit will be just the right size, so that it will fit over this hub right here, the inner hub. And then it almost fits over the gear itself. I'm going to have to use a Dremel tool to sand down the outer edge of this, just a little bit, so that it will fit down in there. And then I'm also going to have to use a Dremel tool to grind pathways through the gear here, so that these parts where the screws go through can sit down in. And once I've done that, I'm going to put drill holes and put screws in from the other side, so that this is screwed down and sitting flush against the gear. And I'm not going to put the tail servo back on the tail holder. I've got some tail servo holders here from a Honeybee King 2, which also has an 8 millimeter tail boom. And I'm going to use that to secure the tail servo directly to the tail boom, and have a this is also from a Honeybee King 3, I think. This will be my new push rod for the tail. So let's see if I can sort of give you an idea of what this is going to look like before I actually start the work. So here's the tail boom inserted into the main frame, and then as I spin this, as I pull the pulley, it spins really nicely back there. If you can imagine that the gear here has the actual pulley on it, it will go right around here, right? And then these guys, will go right about there. Okay, so this is why I really wanted to have adjustment to be able to change the length of that shaft, so that I can move these pulleys up and down, and be able to accommodate for the fact that this pulley right here, where the belt goes through, will be a little bit lower than the boom is. So hopefully that is not an issue. I am doing this pretty consciously, so that if it doesn't work, if I end up messing the whole thing up, I can revert back to the gear drive system. So that's it for now, and we'll be back with some actual procedures.